Okay. So have you ever noticed how sometimes a show just drops and it's like, boom, suddenly it's all anyone can talk about?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Happens all the time, right?
Yay.
Like something just captures the zeitgeist.
Well, that's exactly what's happening right now with Adolescence. It's this British psychological crime drama that hit Netflix back in March. And honestly, the reaction has just been phenomenal.
It really has, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Like the critical acclaim was massive right from the get-go.
Yeah, I mean, just look at the reviews. The Guardian calling it the closest thing to TV perfection in decades.
Wow, that's high praise.
It is. And Deadline, they went with
I
flawless.
mean, you don't see that very often.
No, you don't. And then you have Rolling Stone already saying it's a contender for Best of the Year. That kind of buzz right off the bat. That's pretty rare.
Definitely. And it wasn't just critics either. The audience response has been huge.
Massive. It just shot straight to the top of the UK streaming charts. It even beat out Fool Me Once, which had been holding that top spot for a while.
That's impressive. When a show can connect with viewers that quickly, you know it's got something special.
Right. I mean, there have to be something there. And at the core of it all is this really unsettling, but I don't know, like really gripping story. You have this 13-year-old boy, Jamie Miller, who gets arrested for the murder of his classmate, Katie Leonard.
And from there, the series really just takes you into the aftermath, right? The
Yeah.
fallout for Jamie's family, how it rocks the school, the whole
It's
investigation.
just heavy stuff. And then on top of that, you have this totally unique filming style. Each of the 4 episodes, get this, is filmed in one continuous shot.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. We've got to dig into how they pulled that off technically. That's a whole other level of filmmaking ambition, isn't it?
It really is. But just imagining it, right? Like it adds to the intensity, doesn't it?
For sure. It's one of the things that makes Adolescence so immersive. You're locked into every single moment.
Okay, so for all of you listening who've maybe heard the buzz and are wondering what's the big deal, that's exactly what we're diving into today. We want to go beyond just, oh, it's a good show. We want to figure out what makes Adolescence so captivating. What are those key elements that are resonating so strongly?
Yeah, let's break it down.
All right, so let's start at the beginning. This show was co-created by Stephen Graham, and I'm sure I recognize him. He's this amazing actor. He actually plays Jamie's father, Eddie Miller, in the series.
Oh, wow. Okay, so he's not just behind the scenes, he's in it too. That's cool.
Yeah, he's phenomenal. And then you have the other co-creator, Jack Thorne, who's this brilliant writer.
Okay, so strong talent right from the start. What I'm curious about is what sparked this whole project? Where did the idea come from?
Well, this is where it gets really interesting and also a bit heartbreaking. Stephen Graham has talked about how he was really shaken by these news reports about young boys in the UK being involved in fatal stabbings of young girls.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I can only imagine how heavy that would be to read about.
He specifically mentioned cases in Liverpool in 2021 and another one in Croydon just a couple of years ago in 2023. And those stories, they really stayed with him. It sounds like they were a major push for creating this series.
So these real-life tragedies, those were his inspiration.
Absolutely. But here's the important thing. Even though that's where it started, Jack Thorne, the co-creator, has made it very clear that the show itself isn't based on any one specific true story.
Oh, okay. That's a good distinction.
Yeah, it's important to note that. So while the series was definitely born out of this concern for what's happening in the world, the actual story, the characters, all of that in Adolescence is fictional.
So they have the creative freedom to explore these issues more broadly, right? They're not limited to the specifics of a single case.
Exactly. It gives them space to delve into all the complexities. And
Wow.
speaking of complexities, the show tackles some really big themes, right? I mean, one of the things the creators wanted to do was examine this idea of what they called modern male rage and really dig into what might be contributing to these sorts of horrific acts of violence, especially among young people.
Yeah, that's a really heavy topic, but such an important one to be talking about. And it fits right into the larger conversations we're having right now, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. We're talking about knife crime among teenagers, which is a huge issue, especially here in the UK. The statistics are really alarming. You know, over the past decade, there's been something like a 240% increase.
Wow. 240%. That's incredibly concerning.
It is, and the show doesn't sugarcoat it. It confronts that reality head on.
And it's not just physical violence, is it?
Yeah.
It's the online world too, right? All the stuff about cyberbullying.
Oh, right. There's a whole subplot about Jamie being targeted on Instagram, like relentlessly.
Ugh, yeah. Social media can be so brutal, especially for teenagers.
He gets labeled an incel, which is just awful.
And the way they do it, using this secret emoji language, it's chilling.
It shows how easily social media can be used to hurt people and how deeply that can affect a teenager, especially when they're still figuring out who they are.
I think for anyone listening who isn't familiar with the term, it's important to understand what incel means in this context. It's short for involuntarily celibate, and it's a label often used by men who are angry and resentful towards women because they feel they can't find a romantic partner. It can be really toxic.
And the show actually goes there. It dips its toes into some of these really dark online subcultures. Like they mention the manosphere.
Whoa, okay. They're not shying away from the tough stuff. I guess it makes sense if they're trying to understand this modern male rage thing. For the listener, it's important to know that the manosphere is this loose collection of online groups and forums that often promote really misogynistic, anti-feminist views.
Yeah, and they even drop names like Andrew Tate.
Right. And the whole red pill concept. They're willing to look at those potentially harmful influences that are out there online and how they might be shaping young men's views on gender and relationships.
For a mainstream show to even go there, that's pretty bold.
It is, and maybe a bit risky. I mean, this whole red pill idea basically refers to this belief that you're waking up to some hidden truth about society, but it often involves a really cynical, hostile outlook, especially towards women.
But they're not necessarily saying this is the answer, right? I mean, the show doesn't seem to be offering easy explanations for Jamie's actions.
Right. It's not about providing clear-cut solutions or pointing fingers.
Mm.
It's about raising awareness, getting people talking about these issues.
I think that's what makes it so thought-provoking. It's uncomfortable, it's messy, because that's real life. There aren't always easy answers.
Exactly. And it kind of forces you, the viewer, to wrestle with these difficult questions. It stays with you.
Okay, now we have to talk about the elephant in the room, right? The filming, this whole one-shot thing.
Oh, yeah. It's just remarkable. Every episode, a single, continuous take.
That blows my mind. How do you even begin to plan for that?
I know. It's a testament to the director, Philip Barantini, and the cinematographer, Matthew Lewis. To pull that off, it must have taken incredible collaboration and skill.
It wasn't just a stylistic choice. It was a deliberate artistic decision. And it really does something to you as a viewer. It puts you right there in the moment, like you can't escape.
Absolutely. You're living it with the characters, and that intensity just builds and builds because there are no cuts, no breaks in the tension.
So walk me through this. How do they actually make that happen? It must be incredibly complex.
It's fascinating. It's like they took a page from theater, rehearsing extensively, choreographing every movement, not just for the actors, but for the camera, too.
It's a giant, intricate dance.
Exactly. They use this really advanced camera system called a DJI Ronin 4D, which is known for its flexibility. And get this, they were constantly handing the camera off between different operators, even mounting it on cranes.
Whoa, wait. So in the middle of a scene, they're passing the camera back and forth. That seems incredibly risky.
Yeah, the level of coordination is insane, but it keeps that seamless flow going. There are moments in the show where the impact of this technique is just undeniable.
Like, can you give me an example?
For sure. So at the end of episode 2, there's this incredible drone shot that starts at the school and then slowly moves over the neighborhood, ending at the murder scene. Chilling stuff.
I can only imagine. Haunting.
And then there's the interview room in episode 3. They use these tight, circling shots that make you feel so claustrophobic, like you're right there with Jamie under interrogation.
Those are the kind of filmmaking moments that stay with you. And you said it wasn't all smooth sailing, right? They didn't just nail it on the first take every time.
Nope, not at all. Episode 1 was actually their second take, which is impressive. But episode 2 took a whopping 13 takes. Can you imagine the pressure?
Oh my gosh, that's intense.
And episode 3 took 12 takes, and the final one, 16. What's also really interesting is that they didn't film chronologically. So Owen Cooper, the young actor playing Jamie, actually started with scenes from episode 3. Talk about jumping into the deep end.
Whoa, going straight to some of the most emotionally challenging material. That's wild.
So what about the critics? What was their take on this whole one-shot approach?
Yeah, was everyone on board?
Well, most critics loved it. They said it added to the emotional impact, that sense of realism and immediacy.
Yeah.
That you're right there experiencing it all in real time.
That makes sense. But not everyone was convinced.
Well, there were a few who felt like it could be a bit gimmicky at times, like maybe it drew too much attention to itself instead of just serving the story.
Yeah, I can see that. But overall, it sounds like the sheer ambition and how well they executed it was pretty universally admired.
It was a definite talking point. Now, beyond the technical stuff, We've got to talk about the performances.
Yeah, the acting. It's been getting rave reviews, right?
Absolutely. I mean, everyone in the cast is fantastic, but there's been a lot of buzz, and rightfully so, about Owen Cooper. It's his first major role, and he absolutely nails it.
He really captures that teenage complexity, doesn't he?
Right.
All the vulnerability, the anger, the bravado.
He's phenomenal. Critics have been praising his ability to show those contradictions, that mix of emotions that comes with being a teenager. And guess what? He's already been cast as young Heathcliff in a new adaptation of Wuthering Heights.
Wow, that's awesome. Good for him. Talk about a breakout role.
Right. And the rest of the cast is incredible, too. Stephen Graham, playing Jamie's dad, he's just heartbreaking. He portrays that struggle of a parent dealing with something unimaginable so powerfully.
And what about Ashley Walters? He plays D.I. Luke Bascom, right?
Mm.
The detective.
Yeah, and people are saying this is his best performance yet. He brings so much depth and nuance to the role.
So we've got a stellar cast. And then there's this other thing that struck me. It's all these little details that the show uses, these tiny touches that make everything feel so real.
Oh, I know what you mean. They're so smart about that. It's like they really thought about how to ground the story in those everyday moments.
Yeah, like the space-themed wallpaper in Jamie's room.
Right. That just hits you. It's this reminder of his childhood, his innocence, and how it clashes with the horror of what he's accused of.
And then there's all the food. Like they keep showing these ordinary meals, cornflakes, chips and a Coke, hot chocolate with marshmallows, even a full English breakfast.
A takeaway Chinese food. It's like they're showing you the fabric of their lives, the
Ooh.
normalcy that gets ripped apart by this tragedy.
And the way they portray the school, too, it's so recognizable. It feels like every school you've ever been in.
It's also relatable, even in the midst of this extraordinary situation.
But these details, they're not just random, right? They're actually adding to the story, to the impact.
Totally. It's like they're using these everyday things as symbols, as ways to deepen the emotional experience.
And that makes it even more unsettling, doesn't it? Because it's like, this could happen anywhere.
Exactly. It brings the horror closer to home.
Now, we can't talk about Adolescence without talking about the impact it's had outside the show itself. I mean, it's made waves politically and socially.
Yeah, that's been one of the most fascinating things to see. The show's even gotten attention from the Prime Minister, Keir Starmer.
Seriously.
He actually called for Adolescence to be screened in Parliament and in schools, too. He saw it as a way to raise awareness about misogyny and violence against women and girls.
Wow, that's a huge statement for a TV show to reach that level of influence.
It is. And following that, they made the show freely available for all UK secondary schools. They're taking it seriously.
That's amazing. And I guess it speaks to how powerful storytelling can be, right? When it's done well, it can spark important conversations, even real change.
Right. But it hasn't been all smooth sailing. There was some unfortunate controversy, too, this whole conspiracy theory thing that got spread around.
Oh, right. The stuff Elon Musk was tweeting about.
Yeah, totally unfounded. Jack Thorne, the co-writer, had to come out and publicly reiterate that the show wasn't based on any specific real-life case. It was frustrating to see that misinformation spreading.
I can imagine it's like a distraction from the real issues that the show's trying to address.
Exactly. But even with that, you can't deny the impact it's had. People are talking about these issues now, and that's a good thing.
Okay, so let's try and sum this up. Adolescence is clearly resonating with a lot of people, but it's not just one thing, right? It's a whole bunch of factors coming together.
You got it. It's the combination of the really timely and relevant themes they're tackling, this modern male rage, knife crime, cyberbullying, all that, plus the technical brilliance of the one-shot filming.
Right. And the acting is phenomenal. Owen Cooper's performance is a standout, and all those realistic details add so much.
And then you have the wider social and political impact. It's gone beyond just entertainment. It's a conversation starter. It's making people think.
It's definitely a show that makes you think and feel. It's not an easy watch, but it's incredibly powerful.
Absolutely. And that's what makes it so compelling. It challenges us. So for everyone listening, I'm curious, what are your thoughts? After hearing all this, what do you think are the most crucial steps we can take as a society to better understand and support young people today?
Yeah, they're facing so many pressures. What can we do to help them navigate this complex world? It's a question for all of us, isn't it? Parents, educators, even the tech companies. We all have a role to play.
And if you haven't seen Adolescence yet, it's definitely worth checking out. It's on Netflix.
It's not light entertainment, but it's an important story, and it might just change how you see things.
At the end of the day, Adolescence is holding up a mirror. It's showing us some uncomfortable truths, forcing us to confront the forces that are shaping the next generation. And maybe, just maybe, can help us figure out a way forward.
That's a powerful thought to leave us with.
It is. It's something we all need to be thinking about.
Absolutely.